Aquabi, y'all, it's me, Gazi Kodzo.
Well, Aquafina to you too, Gazi.
So, welcome, and here we go. Today, we're going to talk about the mass shooting that's going on. Everybody's talking about it. But let's talk about why whenever white people feel stressed, or anxiety, or depression, they start shooting up the place, like in Vegas, or like in the post office, or at school. Why is that? It's because the culture of violence rests deep in the white mind, the white brain, the white society, okay?
So Gazi Kodo, he's a racist, and anti-white racism is a big problem in this country. But I don't blame him, okay? Because when I was trying to search for information on this subject to offer my rebuttal, you wouldn't believe all the propaganda I had to cut through just to get to some statistics on race and crime. I mean, you would think the FBI statistics would be the first thing you see on Google Images, but Google manipulates the search results, and the left, like they do with everything you search on Google, they fill the first few pages with these stupid propaganda sites like the Society for Economic Justice in the Hood, or, the Human Social Justice Campaign for the Betterment of Hispanic and Black Neighborhoods. And so you see all these stupid statistics that don't include the actual crime numbers. It's all like, victimization numbers or things like that. So when you want to look at arrests and incarceration rates, you have to go to the FBI. And the FBI statistics prove Gazi wrong right away. And you can see the number of crimes committed by blacks and Hispanics, even per capita, is much, much more than that of whites or Asians. On top of this, you could say, well, those people are oppressed, blah, blah, blah. When you look worldwide at crime rates in other countries, it's not the European countries or the majority Asian countries that are the problem. And you can see on the map I'm showing here that these areas are high in crime because of cultures that are bad, because of lower IQ scores. And that's a big part of it. All right. People don't want to talk about IQ, but the problem is when you have lower IQ populations, they are more prone to acting before thinking. They are more impulsive. They have less impulse control. And this is something that's been proven in scientific studies. When you look at impulse control, it really affects how people are raised because they are taught to act first, to lash out. And that is something that just perpetuates.
And when I say the culture of violence, you're probably like, but Gazi, what does that mean? Why, huh? Because, girl, listen, a culture is only a reflection of that society's economic base, okay?
Yeah, girl. What you know about that economic base, girl?
The economic system which sustains that society. And the economic system which sustains white power, imperialism, capitalism, colonialism is raping, pillaging, murdering, genocide, okay?
No, that's not okay. Because you see, white Western countries ended the system of conquest and conquer that we saw for the first 10,000 years of human societal development. White Western countries ended slavery. When you look at world maps of slavery right now, the one place that slavery isn't a problem is in white Western countries. Now, yes, there are imperialists out there. There are neocons and people like them who do believe that we should expand the empire. But there are also lots of isolationists. And the one thing that's so hypocritical about everything he's saying here is that the systems that do have these kind of structures embedded in them, theft, genocide, they're all the kind of communist systems that Gazi Kodo advocates for. I mean, their whole ideology is built on theft of property and the oppression and suppression of those who disagree with them, of dissidents or reactionaries, as they call them.
So this is white culture. This is how white people alleviate their stress, right? White people in Europe, and they were poor. What do? They went to Africa and started colonizing African people, enslaving African people, murdering African people, right? White people in Europe, they said, oh, we can't pray the way we want to. What did they do? They went to the freaking Americas and murdered indigenous freaking people and took their land, okay? So when a white person's stressed, it's just natural. Oh, we got to shoot up some motherfuckers today so I can alleviate my stress.
So this trope the left used about how brutal colonialism was and how European first encounters were just oppressive and horrible, it's very intellectually dishonest because, first of all, it does not take into the account the exact same things that were happening all over the globe with other cultures and other countries. And most of those encounters were far more brutal than the European encounters, because the European encounters incorporated the people who were living in these areas into the economy, where others just subjugated these people. So I don't want to apologize for colonialism, and I'm not going to deny that there were atrocities that happened because of it. All I want to say is that we went to these countries and we brought in free market ideas and classical liberal principles, and those areas are better off now because of it. I think Gazi Kodo thinks that there's some sort of Wakanda out there, or there would be if Europeans hadn't come. But all he has to do is go down deep into the jungles of Africa and see how people are living without Western influence. And those people are still living in that conquest mentality. They're still living in mud huts and fighting each other every day for scraps of food. So, it's not Wakanda, Gazi. It's whack is what it is.
So if you really want to stop mass shootings for white people, you want to overturn colonialism. You want to stop the fact that white people live in a system that oppresses everyone else to give them their life, dreams, and opulence. And when black people do mass shootings, like in Chicago, we're doing it because our resources have been taken away from our community, and we're fighting over the measly little crumbs that are left in our community and the drug economy that was pushed into our community by the CIA and FBI, which creates horizontal violence, also known as black on black crime. So if you want to stop mass shootings, overturn colonialism, pay reparations to African people, and have a revolution led by the African poor and working class.
So Gazi's actually right here. The CIA is a horrible organization. It's very corrupt. It has been since its inception. The FBI too. All you have to do is read about J. Edgar Hoover or the Dulles brothers, and you'll see just how horrible these people were and the horrible things they did to people, like human experiments, lying to get us into wars, planning mass shootings and terrorist attacks on U.S. soil to trick the American people into going to war. These are all things the FBI and CIA actually did, including flooding black neighborhoods with drugs. But the answer to fighting these federal bureaucracies is not to blame all white people. White people in America, it's not like we're all sitting around plotting how to hurt black people. And the deep state is anti-democratic. The fact is that the deep state is attacking Trump right now, and he's trying to push back, as are most Republicans, against these agencies. And the answer to fighting these agencies is not to vote for a system like communism or socialism, which gives more power to the government. It is to embrace free markets and classical liberalism and try to abolish these federal bureaucracies and abolish any institutions that would hold that much power over the individual. So Gazi is completely wrong when he's right.
Also, what I'm sure a lot of y'all see on CNN, ABC, and NBC are these thousands of students getting out of their schools and marching for more gun control and all of these things. And people are saying, oh, it's a natural occurrence and the kids are just coming together and doing it amongst themselves. But meanwhile, there's a Democratic politician right there in the corner that's guiding them what to say and how to say it.
So I know you guys thought this was a debunking video, and it sort of is, but I want to do this because what Gazi's about to show you guys is so important. He is absolutely right. The Democrats exploit blacks, and they have done this for so long, and blacks have been left worse off because of it. And they stage these events, they stage this propaganda, and most people who speak out are shut down immediately or given strikes by YouTube. And the fact is, they won't give Gazi Kodo a strike. So I'm going to let him tell you guys the reality of what's going on.
And you don't have to believe me that they're using these students as pawns. I actually have 2 high school students right here that were part of the Democratic Party's propaganda machine.
I was in class, and then over the intercom, we heard the principal tell all the teachers in the school to check their emails immediately. And so the teachers stopped what they were doing, stopped teaching class to go check their emails. And it wasn't until 10 minutes later that we learned from the intercom again that all students now have to go to the middle of the school, aka the courtyard. And we see cameras, we see police, we see all the school administration. And that's where the principal decided to tell us that we're having a 17-minute moment of silence. So the next day in the media, in the newspaper, we see that our school held a vigil for the students who were killed at the high school. They said it was student-led and that the students got together and organized a big walkout of class.
We didn't organize anything or any type of contribution to this event at all. In fact, we had absolutely no idea about this.
The principal and the school administration, aka the police, guided us out of class and made sure that there was full police control over the students walking to and from places inside of the school.
If it was anything that we tried to organize on campus, it was the 3 Drowned Black Girls campaign, 3 Black girls that were drowned by the St. Pete Police Department. And we've been multiple times trying to put flyers on campus, basically trying to show the people how corrupt the police department is, but the police and the administrators at our school will silence us, forcing us to take down the flyers.
And I even heard from students from other schools that, you know, they had the same thing happen, where they didn't lead a walkout, yet the media was at their school, the police were at their school, guiding them to some vigil, which they had no knowledge of prior to the school's announcement of it.
All right, so as you can see from those 2 African students going to a United Snakes school, that this entire thing is Democratic Party propaganda. Now, I'm not preaching that the Republican Party is better than the Democratic Party. They're both parties that represent the white ruling class, which are imperialist, colonizers, genocidal white nationalists that need to be overturned and smashed out of the pages of history. And everybody's saying this is gun control to protect our kids and all this other kind of nonsense. The Democratic Party is not trying to protect nobody's damn kids. They're just trying to make sure that only police and white people have guns. No.
Oh, Ghazi, you break my heart. You almost had it, dude. You know, I think if we give Ghazi a few more red pills here, he might come join the dark side, right? Or maybe the light side, whatever. Whatever side we're on. I'm out, guys. Guys, if you like this video, please go check out my main channel, Marxism the New AIDS, or check me out on the Liberty Network, or check out my alt channel, The Patriot Punk, all on YouTube. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe. I'm out.